Welcome to today's Morning Exchange, live with Robin, Mark, Fred, and Anita.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Mark. Well, we can't do anything about our genes, can we? But we can make lifestyle choices that affect the way we age. Joining us this morning is Dr. Darrick Antell, a plastic surgeon who did a fascinating study that began in our very own Twinsburg.
That's right. I came to Twinsburg, and Robin, people would always say to me, Dr. Antell, how long will my facelift last? And I would say, if you had an identical twin and you had the surgery and your twin didn't, it would last forever. So we thought we would look into that, and that's what initiated the study.
Okay. All right. And what did you find?
Well, we went to the festival, and we took photos of hundreds of identical twins. And in looking at the photos, we realized that some of them aged differently. It wasn't what we expected initially. And we looked at the lifestyle factors, and it seemed that lifestyle factors were very important, such as smoking, sun exposure, disease, exercise, stress.
Mm-hmm. And you found a pair of twins that were genetically identical, should have looked, just exactly alike. One had aged tremendously over the other one.
That's right.
And I did see the interview with you and the ladies on Good Morning America, and it was quite revealing, the things that these are the ladies. And tell us about the lifestyles of each one.
Well, Gay, who's on the left, had a history of excessive sun exposure. She lived in California and was out in the sun all the time, really excessively. Her identical twin sister, and realize these are genetically identical people, lived in Maryland and avoided the sun. The other difference is that Gay, on the left, also had a history of marijuana smoking for about 7 years. In looking at their photos, I think if you look at the quality of the skin as well as the wrinkles, look at the tissue around the eyes, you'll see that it's much more excessive. The pores are deeper on the twin on the left than on the one on the right.
It looks like a before and after picture.
Doesn't it?
It's just amazing.
And this is really only one of many examples of other identical twins that we found too, where there were dramatic differences between how they had aged. And we tried to segregate out the lifestyle factors because people are so quick to say, oh, it's on my genes, this is how you age, and they just assume that it's just fate. But I think that the real point of this study is that you can control how you age. It's lifestyle factors. And I think we've highly overrated the genetic aspect in terms of aging.
Really, really. Were there any surprises?
I think if you think about it logically, things like smoking, we all say, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But when you look at the pictures and the differences with regards to smoking, don't forget that that's just a window to what's going on the inside. So if you see a lot of excess wrinkles on the outside, and that's from shrinking of all the capillaries, the little blood vessels, that's also going on the inside in all of your major organs. Okay,
so besides stopping smoking, what else can we do to prevent we can't do anything about the aging process, but we don't want to speed it up. So what can we do?
Well, I think that it comes down to a philosophy of aging. Is aging a disease process that we should try to prevent or slow, such as cardiac disease or anything else? Or is it something that we should just sit back and accept completely? I believe that there are interventional things that we can do, such as exercise, watching your diet, avoiding smoking, and very much so avoiding sun exposure. Sun exposure is a biggie.
Altogether, or can you go out? Because I have a tan now, but I was using an SPF of like 30. So
I think an SPF of 30 is a good idea, but I think it gives a false sense of security. I think people will put that on, and then they'll go out in the sun for an excessive length of time. Some people, it does depend on their skin color. They may tan a little more than others, but you're better off using the tan in a bottle.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about stress. Because one of these twins had lost a child.
Yes, the twin on the left, Gay, who aged more severely, had lost a child at a very early age, which is partly what prompted her to make that move out to California and change her lifestyle.
Okay. But stress, we cannot control things that are not within our control in terms of death, divorce, things like that. So is it how we handle it that affects our aging?
Yes, very much so. I think that one way you can handle it, though, is to maintain an active life and to do things like exercising and having a diet regimen that you follow regularly.
Did they exercise and eat differently?
Exercise wasn't a main factor in this set of twins. There are other people, though, where they did, and we have, as I mentioned earlier, some where one smoked and one didn't.
So it's pretty much all the common sense things, but this is hardcore proof.
Exactly. That's what really it comes down to. These are all the things your mother always told you.
Yeah.
But she was right.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because didn't you offer the more aged-looking twin a facelift?
Well, initially, that's what we were going to do. We would operate on just one. Invariably, all of the sets of twins said, no, we're both doing it, not just one of us. So at this point, I've done more facelifts than anyone else in the world on identical twins. And we've done 8 sets, which is 16 people.
Yeah.
And that's sort of phase 2 of our study, where we're doing some modifications of the facelift technique, slight modifications, to look at see what will hold up longer over time, give a shorter recovery, and all the things we'd all like to have.
Sure, sure. And you're being reunited with
Yes.
that first set of twins?
Well, this weekend is the Twins Festival in Twinsburg, so we have 5 sets of our twins that are gathering at our research booth in midday, and then we're having a dinner together on Saturday night.
The California twin, has she drastically changed her lifestyle?
Yes, she has. She has changed her lifestyle.
Well, Dr. Darrick Antell, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you very
really
much.
good to have
It's
you.
a pleasure.